Or are we straight? I can never tell. Hello everybody, I am back to make the follow-up video to my other video, how to calculate your macros. Conveniently, I'm wearing the same t-shirt as I wore in that video because I don't own very many t-shirts. No, I have clothes, it's just this one is so comfy. It's bamboo. I got it from the Red Deer half marathon that I ran. I love it. I just love this shirt, okay? So leave me alone. I have other clothes, but this one's very comfy. I'm also in my bedroom, as you can probably tell. Don't touch it because the dishwasher's on, and I was like, that's not gonna sound good in the background. So the question I had was, how do you go about meal prepping and counting your macros? And I figured that the best place to start with that was how to know what your macros actually should be. So that's in the other video. And now that you know your macros, if you don't, go watch that one. But you should know your macros now. Now that you know it, what do? Well, you have to find food to meet your macros. How do you know how much macros are in a food? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So what a lot of people do to count their macros throughout the day is to use an app. There's a lot of apps out there. The one I like is called Lose It. And I like the Lose It app because it has a scanning feature. So for example, if you get a can of tuna, you can just scan the barcode on it and it will say these are the macros from the tuna. And you're like, that was easy. So it's super handy. It has a lot of foods in it. So I like the Lose It app. You can also go into your Lose It app and choose a goal so that you're working towards a goal throughout your day. And I find it just super handy to be able to scan foods, to search for chicken breast. What you need in order to do this is you also need a food scale. Okay, I just went and grabbed my food scale. So this is what my food scale looks like. It's just from Walmart and it was the cheapest one. And it works great. So what you do, you take this, you take your plate, you put your food on one food type at a time. So for example, you weigh out your rice. Once you weigh out your rice, you go to your app and you put in your app, I'm gonna eat 50 grams of rice. And then your app is gonna say, great, that's 20 grams of carbs or whatever it is. Then you tare it, so you reset your scale to 0, put on, for example, your chicken, and you say, oh, okay, I've got 80 grams of chicken. Go into your app, say add food, search chicken breast or chicken thighs or whatever kind of chicken you're eating, say 80 grams, and then your app's gonna tell you what your macros are. Super straightforward and super simple, and it's quite easy. You just need 2 tools. Your app, whether it is a Lose It app, Fat Secret maybe, Fitness Pal, I think those are some. I like Lose It, and your scale. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you want to do some more advanced planning, say you want to plan your meals before you put it into your app, you can do this from Google. And all you do is put in 100 grams, so how much you're gonna eat, 100 grams chicken breast with the word nutrition behind it, and Google will tell you the macros. 40 grams broccoli nutrition, and Google will pull up the macros. Like whatever you're eating, you just type in how much you're gonna eat, what the food is, and nutrition, and Google will pull up the macros for you. And I use this method a lot if I'm pre-planning my meals or if I wanna make myself a meal plan. So sometimes it's handy to just fly by the seat of your pants so that when you buy a Starbucks latte, you can just put it into your app and then you can track your macros throughout the day. Maybe your friend's like, I bought you this hamburger or whatever, you just put it into your app. But other times you want to pre-plan your day, and when I pre-plan my day and I decide what I'm gonna eat, then I use Google to help me plan. So for example, I'll go into Google and I'll try to figure out how much food I need to satisfy a certain macro. So say for example, I'm trying to find a meal that has 20 grams of protein, 20 grams of carbs, and 7 grams of fat. So what I do is I go into Google and I just kind of do like backwards entering. I just enter numbers until the macros come up at 20 grams of protein. So for 20 grams of protein, for example, you would need to eat 180 grams of egg whites, 66 grams of chicken breast, 75 grams of tilapia. So these are just examples. Say I want to find 20 grams of carbs. Well, Google tells me to get 20 grams of carbs, I need to eat 70 grams of brown rice, 100 grams of sweet potato, 30 grams of oats, Say for example, I'm trying to eat 7 grams of fats. Google tells me I need 15 grams of almonds, which equals about 15 almonds. Usually an almond weighs about a gram. Or I need 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, or 50 grams of an avocado, or half a tablespoon of olive oil. So by using this method, I can kind of plan my day in advance. Now the reason why you would want to plan your day in advance is so that you can avoid cheating. So it is convenient to just make something and track it and not always plan ahead. It can be convenient because it's a little bit easier, but the problem with that is it's also easier to fall off track, because you're gonna go, oh, well, I don't have dinner made, so I'm gonna eat the pizza instead. So if you pre-plan your food and you pack it all the night before, then when you say, I wanna eat something, well, eat what you just made last night. And you would do this by putting it into little Tupperware containers, and you can label it breakfast, lunch, dinner, or however you want, and take it with you throughout the day so that you don't have to cheat, because if you get hungry, your meals are right there for you. So what I like to do when it comes to meal prepping is make a bunch of protein at once. So my protein of choice is chicken breast, extra lean ground beef, shrimp, eggs. Those are the proteins I like right now. Last year I had a lot of turkey and just a little too much. I'm not ready to eat that right now. It has like a certain smell to it. So I find I have to kind of rotate my proteins so I don't get sick of them. So what I do is I make a lot of it, and I just put it in a big Tupperware container, and then I measure it each day. Alternatively, like I mentioned, you can make a lot of it and then separate it into the little containers, exactly what you need for a meal. Again, I do the same thing for carbs. I make a big pot of rice, and I just put it in a big container, so when I'm ready to eat my rice, I just weigh it out directly onto my plate from the big container. Alternatively, you make a big pot of rice and you already divide it into your little meals. My carbohydrates of choice right now are carrots, rice, oatmeal. Yeah, those are the carbs that I've been eating lately. My fats of choice, I love fat. As I told you in the last video, my fats of choice are all of them, but almonds, cashews, walnuts, like any kind of nut, peanut butter, olive oil, coconut oil, MCT oil, avocados. Those are my fats of choice, like just all the fats. Now here's the thing that I'm doing this prep that I'm absolutely loving. I don't count my green vegetables in my macros. They don't count. But I have to eat 400 grams of green vegetables a day. And what I'm finding, the reason why I love this is because it's actually hard to eat 400 grams of green vegetables in a day. It's not hard, but I couldn't do it in one sitting. So if I forget to eat vegetables or something and I try to do it all in one sitting, that's a lot of vegetables. So I like this method because I feel really healthy, because like I said in my last video, I don't track my food all the time, but now that I am tracking, I'm tracking my vegetables, and I'm realizing I'm eating a lot of vegetables doing this, which is great because it's really healthy. So I'm realizing, wow, when I stop tracking, I don't eat as many vegetables. So I really like this method of making sure I get 400 grams of green vegetables in a day. What that doesn't include though is celery and cucumbers, for example. Those don't really count in your 400 grams of green vegetables because there's nothing, I mean, there's stuff in it, but there's not that much stuff in it. So my green vegetables of choice, if you follow me on Snapchat, you know that it's Brussels sprouts. I absolutely love Brussels sprouts. That would be my #1 green vegetable of choice. I also like broccoli and asparagus, and I like spinach. So those are my green vegetables of choice at the moment. If I'm hungry, if I've fulfilled all my macros for the day, eaten my 400 grams of green vegetables, and I'm still hungry, that's when I'll eat cucumber and celery, because they're kind of like free snacks. Just eat as much as you want. Not so much will happen if you eat a lot of cucumbers and celery. So yeah, that's how I go about my meal prepping. Hopefully that made sense. And let me know if you guys would want to see exactly the meals that I do eat. Like for example, my favorite breakfast and my favorite lunch to eat. Let me know if you want to see a video of that and how I make my food and how I go about my macro counting throughout the day. With all of this in mind, any of the numbers that I threw out there, like 400 grams of green vegetables or like 20 grams of protein in a meal, this is all stuff like for my body. So you maybe need to eat 600 grams of green vegetables, maybe if you're bigger than me, Or maybe you're like 16 and you need 300 grams of green vegetables. I don't know. But what I'm saying is don't follow the macros that I've mentioned today. Don't follow them for you, because you have your own needs for your own unique body. Go watch my previous video, how to calculate your macros, to find out exactly what you need for your body. Hopefully that was helpful. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. You can follow me on Instagram at carly.ar. I try to post every day, and you can see my journey to my bikini competition as I shred down and continue to wear the same t-shirt. Okay, bye.